Good evening and welcome in tonight's news. His Majesty the King calls for ending Israel's military operations in Rafah and protecting innocent civilians. The Crown Prince voices his confidence in Jordan's future and the ability and intelligence of its youth to build on past achievements. And the death toll from Israel's airstrike on a tent camp housing displaced people in Rafah rises to 45. Good evening and welcome again. His Majesty King Abdullah received a phone call from Norway's Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre, in which they stressed the importance of concerted international efforts to stop the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. During the call, the King affirmed the importance of the international community to move urgently for an immediate and permanent ceasefire. His Majesty called for stopping Israel's military operations in Rafah and protecting innocent civilians. King Abdullah voiced appreciation of Norway's decision to recognize the Palestinian state, in addition to its role in sending relief aid to the Palestinians in Gaza. King Abdullah reiterated the need to support the Palestinians in regaining the legitimate rights and establishing their own independent state with East Jerusalem as its capital. His Royal Highness Crown Prince Al Hussein expressed his confidence in Jordan's future and the ability and intelligence of its youth to build on past achievements. In an interview with the Al Arabiya channel, the Crown Prince discussed the challenges that Jordan has faced and surmounted over the past 25 years. On the domestic front, Prince Al Hussein emphasized that his current priority is propping up the country's economy. He explained that despite limited resources, Jordan has the human capital and the capacity to integrate with regional neighbors and expand local markets. Prince Al Hussein also pointed to accomplishments in the vocational and technical education sector, noting that this sector will provide young Jordanians with more employment opportunities domestically and abroad, with shorter qualification periods and higher income levels. Commenting on the latest developments in Gaza, the Crown Prince described the world's failure to stop the tragedy unfolding there as inconceivable. Prime Minister Bashar al-Khassauni inaugurated the Salt al-Arda Road Rehabilitation Project. The project, which extends from Al-Sbehi intersection to Al-Arda intersection, enhances connectivity between the key areas, including the Dead Sea tourist area, the agricultural lands of the Jordan Valley and the capital Amman. During a ceremony, the Prime Minister underscored the road's economic importance, emphasizing its pivotal role in fostering tourism and agriculture. Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi met in Brussels with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi. The meeting focused on the latest regional developments, efforts to reach a ceasefire in Gaza, the protection of civilians and the delivery of sufficient and sustainable humanitarian aid to all parts of the enclave. Safadi and Grandi also discussed the Syrian refugee crisis, with the foreign minister stressing the need for joint action to ensure the necessary support to provide a decent life for the refugees and help host countries bear the burden of hosting them. The foreign minister also held separate meetings with the EU Commissioner for Enlargement and Neighbourhood Affairs and the Italian foreign minister and discussed with them the latest developments in Gaza and efforts to achieve a ceasefire. Jordan strongly condemned Israel's targeting of a tent camp for displaced civilians in Rafah city. In a statement, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Soufiane Lakhdar called on the international community to take an immediate and effective action and hold Israel accountable for its actions. Last night, an Israeli airstrike that triggered a massive blaze in a tent camp in Rafah killed 45 civilians, 23 of them women and children. About 250 people were also injured. The attack prompted an outcry from global leaders who urged the implementation of the ICJ ruling to halt Israel's assault in Rafah. The Palestine Red Crescent Society said many of those who died were burned alive inside their tents in Tel Sultan area. Meanwhile, health officials said Israeli tanks continue to bombard the eastern and central areas of Rafah, killing 8 people. Gaza's health ministry said at least 36,050 Palestinians have been killed and more than 81,000 others have been injured since the start of Israel's offensive. Thank you so much for your time.